Instead of worrying about making the right decision, focus on making the decision right. And by this I mean randomly choose. By randomly choosing, I'm saying have an experience, then make a decision. You need to make a choice, have an experience, then make a decision based off of that experience. Where most of us go wrong is we try to decide before having the experience. And the creator that inspired me said there's a difference between a choice and a decision. A choice comes from an uninformed perspective, which requires you to have an experience so that you move to a point of an informed perspective that can now enable you to make a decision. And for example, you can make a choice to have some person A as your friend, but then after having the experience of person A as your friend, then now you can be able to decide if you really want them as your friend. Is this for you or is this not for you? But you can only decide that after having the experience. But most of us try really hard to fight to be in this gray area where we don't want to change. We know what we need to do in terms of like deciding before like in order to decide, we know the steps, the experiences, the things we need to do, but we choose to remain here. And again, remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. So when you remain in that small bubble of reality of nothing changing, the consequences or the byproducts of it are you don't know what you don't know, so you remain ignorant. You make uninformed choices, i.e., you mark time. Your arrogance increases because you have deluded yourself successfully into thinking that you're okay and everything that you need is, in short, you have deluded yourself into the lie of comfort. And eventually the quality of life that you have will decrease over time. But if you take the other path of having an experience, then making a decision, make a choice, have an experience, then make a decision, the byproducts are you know now, you're in the know. You didn't, as opposed to not knowing what you don't know, the ability to make better informed choices increases over time. Your desire to know more and to experience more increases as well. And the quality of your life increases eventually. So the whole premise of not worrying about making the right decision and focusing on making the decision right is based on fucking around and finding out. The more you fuck around, the more you find out. But the less you fuck around, the less you find out. And if you don't fuck around at all, you never find out. You remain there. And this is all tied to overthinking is really just underfeeling. Hashtag Blue Teluma. I am the biggest culprit of this, where in the past I've really tried to intellectualize an experience as opposed to actually just having that experience. We try a lot to think our way through things instead of actually just doing them. But the problem is when you know but don't do, the byproducts are you have increased stress and anxiety, i.e. analysis paralysis. You remain busy but never productive. You make fear-based decisions and you have reduced self-esteem on top of having all these other byproducts of not being in the know. You don't know what you don't know. You make uninformed choices. Your arrogance increases and the quality of your life eventually does decrease. So if you're to take anything away from this is that instead of worrying about making the right decision, just focus on making the decision right by randomly choosing, having an experience, then making a decision based off of this experience. That is all for today. Catch you in the next one.